Have you ever walked into a loud, crowded party and within 5 minutes felt like your internal battery just hit 1%? While everyone else is getting hyped up by the music and the small talk, you're already calculating the fastest route to the exit. Society often looks at people like us and thinks, poor thing, they must be so lonely. But here's the secret that extroverts rarely understand. Being alone is not a punishment for an introvert. It is a luxury. In fact, most introverts will tell you that they are never bored when they are by themselves. But why is that? Why can an introvert sit in a room for 5 hours with nothing but a book or their own thoughts and feel more alive than they do at a social event? Today, we're diving into the fascinating psychology of the introvert's brain to explain why our solitude is actually a high-speed adventure. The biological cheat code. First, let's talk science, but keep it simple. It all comes down to how our brains handle reward. Extroverts have a high tolerance for dopamine. Dopamine is that feel-good chemical we get from external stimulation, like winning a game, meeting new people, or loud music. To feel happy, extroverts need a lot of it. Without constant action, they feel bored or understimulated. Introverts are the exact opposite. We are incredibly sensitive to dopamine. For us, too much social interaction feels like someone is screaming in our ears while shining a flashlight in our eyes. It's exhausting. Instead, introverts prefer a different chemical called acetylcholine. This chemical is also a feel-good hormone, but it's triggered by turning inward. It's what you feel when you're deeply focused on a task, reading, or reflecting. While extroverts are fueled by the rush, introverts are fueled by the flow. This is why we don't get bored alone. Our brains are literally rewarding us for being quiet. The inner cinema. Imagine your mind is a high-definition movie theater that never closes. For an introvert, the inner world is just as vivid, if not more vivid, than the outside world. When we are alone, we aren't just sitting there. We are building worlds. We are analyzing a conversation we had 3 years ago. We are planning a business, imagining a story, or solving a problem. Psychologists call this introspection. Because introverts process information so deeply, every piece of data we've gathered during the day gets sorted and analyzed when we're alone. It's like we have a massive backlog of mental work to do. A single walk in the park provides enough mental footage for an introvert to think about for hours. How could you be bored when your mind is the most interesting place on Earth? Observation as a superpower. There's a huge difference between being a loner and being an observer. Introverts spend a lot of time watching. We notice the way people move, the tone of their voices, and the small details in nature. When an introvert is alone, they're often connecting the dots of everything they observed. This is why many of the world's greatest writers, scientists, and artists are introverts. They aren't bored, they're observing. They're collecting puzzle pieces from the world and putting them together in their solitude. To an introvert, the world is a giant mystery, and being alone is the only time they have to solve it. The social battery myth. People often ask, don't you get lonely? The truth is, introverts actually love people. We just love them in small doses and high quality. Loneliness is the feeling of being disconnected, but introverts feel very connected to their hobbies, to their pets, to their close friends, and to themselves. For us, being alone is recharging. Think of it like a phone. An extrovert is a phone that charges by being plugged into a public charging station, other people. An introvert is a solar-powered phone. We need the quiet sunlight of solitude to get back to 100%. If we don't get that time, we become glitchy, tired, and irritable. Why you should embrace the quiet. If you're an introvert watching this, stop apologizing for wanting to stay home. You aren't anti-social, you are pro-solitude. Your ability to find joy in your own company is a superpower. In a world that can't stop talking, your ability to sit quietly and think is rare. And if you're an extrovert trying to understand an introvert, just know that when we say I'm staying in tonight, it's not because we're sad, it's because we have a very important date with our own imagination. The next time you find yourself alone, don't reach for your phone to scroll through social media just to kill the silence. Lean into it. Listen to your thoughts. Build something in your mind. Because in the silence, you'll find that you are actually in the best company possible. Introversion isn't a wall between you and the world. It's a bridge to a deeper understanding of yourself. And once you realize how much is happening inside your own head, you'll realize that boredom is simply impossible.